Happy Friday, everyone. Welcome to the Festy podcast. I'm your host, Manny, aka Frisky Hug. So it looks like today is a Lost Lands weekend. Getting some pretty bad FOMO, pretty jealous of you guys going over there. But I went to Nocturnal Wonderland last weekend, so I really can't be like too sad because that's just, in the end, that's just pretty fucked up. If I'm getting like sad over a festival when I literally just got back from a festival a couple days ago. But I'm happy for everyone over at Los Angeles. Please stay safe, stay hydrated. I know it's a little muddy, so I hope you guys brought some like plastic bags, some boots, and stuff like that. All right, so before we get started with the podcast today, I'm gonna do my 4 shout outs of the week. So the 4 shout outs today is number 1, a content creator, and that's gonna go to Bree. Her IG is Bree Lala. She is a plus size fashion icon, and she inspires other females in the industry to feel good in their own bodies, as well as feel comfortable posting about themselves in social media. I think that's just really awesome of her, the way she portrays herself. I don't think I've actually met her in person, but we're definitely in a lot of group chats together. She seems super sweet, and I wanted to give her a quick shout out because she also came out with her Freedom Ravewear collaboration clothing line. It looks super badass. So congratulations, Bree, on that. Definitely check her out. It's BreeLala on IG. Just like I always say on every podcast, everyone's handles will be on the description below. So if you want to check it out, I think Spotify, SoundCloud, they all have a description thing and it all links to it. So go check her out. Number 2 is going to go to a DJ or producer, and this is going to go to Dr. Ops. So Dr. Ops is an American/British duo. One is RJ and the other one is Jacob. They're a dubstep duo that are under Primal Production management. Primal Production, I think that I did a little shout out for him the other time. He's the one that runs the Endless Summer Nights events. First time I met Dr. Ops, I think it was RJ that I met. It was at one of the drive-ins that Primal Productions was hosting for the Endless Summer Nights series. He's a super cool dude. I actually bumped into him at a hotel. But I'm giving him a shout out because he had something very unfortunate happen. Well, sorry, they had something very unfortunate happen where their Instagram account got disabled. So I'm sure any support from any of you guys would mean a lot to them. Go ahead and check them out. Their music is fire. I promise you. I haven't steered you guys wrong yet. Such an amazing duo, such an amazing amount of music that they put out. Their Instagram's a little low on the post, but that's just, like I said, their account got disabled. Definitely go check them out though, guys. Their IG is dr.ops.music. All right, so for number 3, we're gonna do a brand or business, and these are gonna go to my homies, Kandi Bar. I'm an ambassador for them. What is Kandi Bar? So at this moment, Kandi Bar is a candy store. And I don't mean like edible candy, but like candy single store. They have packs with already like preset like phrases and stuff like that. I did a collaboration. I am doing a collaboration with Kandi Bar. So I have actually my own pack of words, colors, combinations, phrases, everything that that is in my pack. I chose, and that I came up with everything on there. You also get a free Frisky Hug bracelet as well as a Kandi Bar bracelet. Go check that store out. If you're listening to this on most platforms, you should be able to like get the link through my IG bio. I think on TikTok, my IG bio is on there as well. And you could also save money. Frisky Hug will save you 10% on not only my pack, but every pack that they have on there. They're a couple. They just had a baby. So congratulations. I think the baby is actually, 8 months old now? But still, congratulations on that, guys. Okay, number 4 is going to go to a supporting friend or follower. And this was going to go to Electronic Flex. IG on that is Electronic Flex Official. Oh, I'm sorry. For Kandi Bar, their IG is just Kandi Bar. Okay, moving on to Electronic Flex. The reason I'm giving him the shout out is because I was going through my IG posts for like the podcast stuff that I put on there for the podcast handle. For those of you that don't know, I have a podcast page on IG, and they had 3 comments and they left me on there. And for that support, I wanted to show support back. Not only that, but they actually Electronic Flex actually posted a post about my podcast on there. So thank you so much for that. I love the support. I do appreciate it, and it doesn't go unnoticed. Give them a follow, give them a watch, go check them out. Okay, that was all 4 shout outs for the week. But who do we have for a guest today? So I actually have Ty. Well, he goes by Ty. His name's Tyler. He's the owner of Raveraide. What is Raveraide? So it's basically like it's kind of like a supplement powder that goes into like your water. And it's supposed to replenish, like it's supposed to like naturally replenish like everything that you're missing and need for a festival to get you back on your feet, keep you hydrated, and make sure you're not missing anything. We go deep into what Raveraide is in the podcast. We go and talk about ingredients, what it's about, when you use it, and the whole story behind that. It's a really cool podcast. Definitely a lot of information, and I hope you guys enjoyed this week's episode. Yo, so I'd like to welcome Ty to the podcast, also known as Raveraide. He's one of you're the CEO owner, right, of Raveraide? I'm not really sure.
Yeah, no, yeah. Thanks for having me on. I appreciate it. I'm the CEO and creator of Raveraide. So it's my company, but we have a whole team of people that work here, and there's a few different owners as well. So it's just a family project we've all been working on for the past year or so.
Yeah. Well, man, thank you for coming to the podcast, man. I really appreciate you coming on, telling your story. We're going to get down and dirty in some, Raveraide details, and a lot of fun stuff to talk about, a lot of fun topics. But before we get started, just so the listeners know who you are, if you wouldn't mind giving a quick intro, who you are, where you're from, stuff like that.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, my name's Tyler Hardy, and I'm from Salt Lake City, Utah. I've lived here pretty much my whole life. Like I grew up as a kid down in Texas, and then moved up here. Just parents moved up here for work and stuff like that. So I've been here for the bulk majority of my life, and I've been going to music festivals since 2018. My very first festival was EDC 2018. We went on a 2-week notice. I didn't even know what EDM music was. Just a friend of mine said, "Hey, do you want to go? I just got back from Coachella. You got to check this stuff out. It's like next level." And ended up going, and I've been in it ever since. Like we probably go to maybe 8 to 10 festivals a year, if not more than that, as a group. So yeah, I've just been, diving deep into the music scene for quite some time now, for going on 3 years, or, 2 years if you don't count last year. But
yeah, it's addicting, honestly.
Yeah, it's been good. I've met a lot of really amazing people, and it's definitely changed the lens in which I view the world, and the way that I view my own personal life, and the way that I go about my life. And the contributions that I like to make to the world are, largely attributed to my experiences and my personal growth that I've had at music festivals.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, man, music festivals, there's such a great way to like connect with people. I mean, you meet people from like all walks of life, honestly. Like, it's like crazy when like I first like met like my first doctor at a festival. Like, wait, like you're like these like medical professionals just going to raves, and like you start to realize that like these festivals, they're not for like one specific type of like attendee. Like anyone and everyone can go. It's just, and people get mad like people get mad, almost like they're trying to like hog the festivals for themselves. Like, oh, Chads are going, and Brads are going, and Brittany's and Lauren's and whatever, right? And like, what do you care? Like, I'm sorry that nobody fits your criteria for what a festival attendee is, but like, that's the beautiful thing about a festival. Anyone and anyone can go, and anyone can enjoy it. What festivals have you? What festivals have you been to? I'm kind of curious. Out of all the festivals you've been to.
I've been to a lot of festivals. So EDC, DOS Energy, that's a local one here. I've been to Gold Rush. We're going back
Mhm.
to Gold Rush this month to sponsor the event actually for Raveraide. So
Yeah.
we'll be down there. So I've been to Gold Rush, been to Decadence, I've been to
AZ or
EDC Orlando.
Colorado?
AZ. I haven't been to Colorado yet. We're probably gonna go to AZ again this year, just because
Yeah.
we're gonna be sponsoring that event too with
Not a fan
Relentless
of the
Beats.
Colorado one, honestly, though. I've been to the AZ one 5 times. Way better, honestly.
Yeah, I went to the 2000 going into 2019. It was a really good time. I
Mhm.
really enjoyed it. It was a little bit rainy and wet, so that was unexpected, but you just make the most out of it. And
Yeah,
luckily it was indoors.
wasn't like monsoon. It was like just regular rain, I like to think.
It was, yeah, it was manageable for sure. But
Yeah.
yeah, let's see what else have I been to. Just a bunch of local things here in Utah. Went to Base Canyon last 2 weeks. That was incredible. And trying to think if there's anything else. That's pretty much it at the moment. Yeah, that pretty much
Yeah.
rounds out the list. I've been to EDC twice now. We're gonna go a
Yeah.
third time next month.
When you go, do you fly or do you just like drive?
Most of the time we fly,
Okay.
but things have been a little bit different with Raveraide in regards to needing to get certain equipment to certain
Yeah.
places and stuff like that. So like for Base Canyon, we took an RV because obviously it's a camping festival, which was
Yep.
it was a really positive experience. I'm planning on selling my house actually because I'm going to be moving down to Austin for a little bit.
Okay.
I'm actually going to buy an RV and we're just going to travel the country
Such a good
and turn it into,
investment.
yeah, and because like we just want to be at all the events
Mhm.
and we know that the only way to really make an impact is by being at 25 plus festivals a year. So that's kind of the game plan going forward is we're just going to move and transition to like a more mobile lifestyle and make sure that we're at all the festivals and meeting people and sharing our mission, what we're trying to accomplish in the EDM community.
So speaking of mission, what is Raveraide's mission?
Yeah, so I'll give you a little bit of a backstory. I'm not sure
Yeah, go for
Excuse
it.
me, I'm not sure if I told you this or not, but the reason I started Raveraide and why we're doing it is I had a good friend of mine at EDC in 2019. It was day 3, and it was like 6 o'clock in the morning. So like we're like on the last stretch of the festival. We just got done watching Millennium, and a few hours before that, and
Mhm.
her hydration pack had broken, and so she was using my hydration pack throughout the night, and she decided to go to a different set with a part of our group, and I stayed for Millennium. And so I ended up meeting up with her for like the last set of the night, which I believe was Delta Heavy at Base Pod.
Mhm.
And we were at Rail and we're standing there and she's like one person away from me. So it's me and then someone else and then she's right there.
Yeah.
And I remember looking to my left and then I looked up at the screen and then I looked back to my left and she wasn't there. And I looked back and, I just saw her boots on the ground and she was
Oh
actually,
shit.
collapsed and had a seizure on me. And it was a, really scary experience, honestly. It's one of those things that I, hope would never happen to anyone. You
Yeah,
know
you
what
just
I
feel
mean?
helpless
And
at that point. It's like, what can you
yeah,
do?
it's you like it's just like I mean, we had a couple other friends there, but they were pretty shell shocked as well and panicked by everything. And I kind of felt like I was like the only one who could help as much as possible. But obviously, like when someone's laying on the ground and convulsing for a minute straight, there's really not a lot you can do other than try to keep them safe, make sure they're
Yep.
not banging their head against the concrete. But luckily, she ended up being okay.
Mhm.
The EMTs did a good job, got to her. She woke up really confused and was afraid and all that. And I helped her to the med tent. She's
Mhm.
okay. She's recovered and doing fine. But I asked myself why that happened because I believe that every single experience we have in our life happens for a very particular reason, and there's some sort of gift inside of that experience. And at the time was selling at a job where I was selling high end supplements to people over the phone. And one day I was out, I was actually selling life insurance in Michigan because
Mhm.
I had a career change, and I was just driving home one day and it just clicked, a supplement for ravers that they could use at all times that would have the key electrolytes, the key vitamins, the key minerals, the things to help reduce anxiety, to help out
Right.
with flow states, like things to help their muscles and recovery, to reduce the risk of that happening. Because if we could reduce that happening, the risk of that happening for even one person, then I would continue to do this ongoing, because I wouldn't want anybody to experience what happened to my friend, or myself having to experience someone that I cared about be in a position like that and there not be anything that I could do about it. So that is why we started Raveraide. That is, the whole mission of what we're trying to do. We're trying to bring in more safety and awareness around what people can be doing for harm prevention and harm reduction, but also help out with bringing more self-awareness to people, not only in raving, but in their personal life as well. So there's definitely like a spiritual, personal growth component to our business that we're really leaning into to help people become better versions of themselves through the journey of music.
Yeah. So I got a couple questions, I guess, from that story. As you said, that's why we started Raveraide. Who's we? Who's the squad? Who's basically everybody part of the team?
Yeah, so it's pretty cool actually how it happened. So I've got quite a few people that we work with. So we've got Sam, who's our director of operations.
Yeah.
And he's a good buddy of mine. We went to high school together, and he's a business partner of mine. He's doing a really great job. Then we've got Jake, who's another lifelong friend of mine as well, who is our chief of marketing. And then we have Elliot, who does marketing with him as well. And then we have Maddie. Do you know Maddie Maple?
Yeah, I think I met her at that drive-in rave. No.
Yeah, she was there. Yeah. So
Okay.
she's our chief of ambassadors. So she's building out our ambassador program. And then we've got Josiah McDonald, and he's our chief of videography and content creation. So he does an amazing job as well. He does quite a bit of work with people like Subtronics and Slander and stuff like that already. And then I'm trying to think of who else. We have Taylor works on the team. We have our chief formulator, Jake. So we have a whole team of people. What's cool is that pretty much every single one of those people are from my rave fam.
Yeah.
They're all somebody that I met along the way, through my journey through music. So it's been really cool. It's been like a family project that's, turned into a business. That's,
Is this something that you like offered them when you came up with the idea? You're like, hey, like, how did it all like start? Was it like, you were just like, okay, so like, did you guys all huddle like, hey guys, I'm brainstorming an idea and I want you guys all to be a part of it? Or like, did you like handpick one person at a time and you're like, hey, this is what I need. This is what I need. Like, how did you even come up with like, who's going to do what? Like, how did that?
Honestly, it's pretty crazy. And one person I forgot to mention was my buddy Colton as well. He's doing our rave radio. So he posts daily mix or weekly mixes for us on the SoundCloud page as well. So,
oh, hell yeah.
To answer your question, it's one of those things where like we have a core group of friends. We've been friends since high school. We kind of all disbanded a little bit. Like we were all still friends and hung out together all the time, but we all kind of went in a different direction, go pick up different skills and things that we didn't even realize that we were picking up to be able to contribute to Raveraide. But Jake had been doing some, studying and some courses on Amazon and different marketing things. And he's been in the marketing game for a while. So it was one of those things when I brought the idea or came up with the idea. I didn't sleep for 2 days once I thought about it. I was like, this is what I want to be doing.
You don't want to lose this momentum.
No, I just felt really passionate about doing this just because of the experience that I had with my friend. And so I started talking to my friends about the idea. And I was like, do you think we could do this? Like, is this possible? And they're like, absolutely. Every single person I talked to is like, you should definitely do that. And so we started talking about what needed to happen. And each one of my friends has a very particular skill set that really complemented what we were trying to accomplish. So they just started taking on, different tasks and duties. And then, we obviously formed the business, and everyone has very like distinct roles in the business, but it kind of just really organically came together. Like, it wasn't like I didn't have to go outside of like my group to find people that could do it, that I felt confident
like
in
your friends already
like,
had those skills. Yeah,
it was like a beautiful, perfect, like,
that's awesome, man.
Collision course of all these. It was
honestly meant to be.
Yeah, no, most definitely. Like, I definitely feel like it's like what we're supposed to be doing, with our time, and it's our way of giving back, because like I've grown so much through music. I've had some of my highest of high times, lowest of lows. Like, I found myself through going to music festivals, meeting people, learning how to heal. Like, so it's like, how can I turn around and give that experience, or the increase the likelihood of that experience happening for other people? And it's by giving them products and solutions that help make their experience safer and more pleasant. So that's basically why we created the company.
Do you have like another, or I guess today as well, like do you have like another job, or are you like fully in this, like invested, or is it like something you do on the side as well, or?
Yeah, so I work a professional job as well. I'm a
Okay.
financial advisor, so I do like a very particular type of life insurance for
Okay.
people. Basically, just helps people get their money away from the government in a very in an ethical way, like a legal way.
Yeah.
So I do that, but my duties keep picking up here more and more. So I actually spend more time on Raveraide than I do on my professional job now.
Yeah.
And it'll keep doing that until I'm doing this full time.
I
But
mean, you look passionate,
well.
so I feel like you're passionate for it, so it doesn't like almost like Raveraide isn't really like a job. It's just something you're just passionate about doing, and like
it's just something that I feel like I need to do.
Yeah.
Like there's just things in life where you just feel like you need to do them, and this is one of those things that I feel like needs to get done. And I have the people in my life that are able to help bring this to life. I'm super grateful for them and all the work and hours they put in and the things they do to make this a reality for everybody.
So let's talk about more of like the Raveraide product itself. How did you, like, I guess, come up with like the ingredients and all that stuff? Like did you like do the research prior? Like, I guess I'm just so uneducated to the point where like I'm wondering how you came up with this. Like,
yeah, no, of course. And that's the big thing too, is we want to make sure we're educating people on, what each ingredient does for them. Because every single spec that's in Raveraide has a purpose. There's no fillers, there's no artificial sweeteners, there's no dyes, there's not all this stuff that's in the market now that's really, poisonous or neurotoxic for people. We really want to be intentional with everything that we put in it. So I had a background in high-end supplement sales prior to creating Raveraide. So I was pretty well versed in, quite a plethora of different ingredients and what they would do for you, and, some of the potential neuroprotective benefits that some of these ingredients have. And so I started putting things together. Obviously, when we sweat, we lose a lot of minerals, we lose a lot of electrolytes, we're losing a lot of salts. So drinking just water alone will not replenish you. So if we're replenishing the body, it's gonna be able to go a lot further, a lot longer, and a lot safer, right? Because I mean, we've all had those experiences where it's night 3, we're crawling into a festival, our bodies are exhausted.
Yeah.
You got 6 to 8 hours in front of you. You're like, how am I gonna get through this? But if we're taking preventative measures in between, nights, during the festival, after the festival, before the festival, and loading the body up with things that it actually needs, you'd be amazed at how far your body can actually go and how well it can actually sustain 3 nights of not sleeping and, everything else that people do at festivals. So to kind of get into it. So the Raveraide, we have a 2.0 version coming out within the next 2.5 weeks or so, which I'm super excited for. So you tried the original version.
I did. Yeah. You had me try it when I met you in Utah.
Yeah. So this stuff is like just 1,000 times better in my opinion. Like we've been spending basically from Singularity all the way to now, we've just been constantly reformulating, trying different ingredients, sourcing different, cleaner, more sustainable types of ingredients, so that way we can make sure we're delivering the absolute best as an all-in-one. But the Raveraide's got a bunch of electrolytes in it. It's got a proprietary electrolyte blend that our head formulator created. The flavoring in it's all organic now. We use stevia and then organic coconut sugar to sweeten it. So it doesn't have a bunch of, refined sugars in it like a lot of the hydration sticks on the market already do, or cane sugar, stuff like that. And then it's got one of my favorite ingredients on the planet is actually L-theanine. Do you know what that is?
Uneducated.
No, you're good. So
educate me.
I actually discovered L-theanine through drinking coffee. So do you drink coffee?
I do sometimes, yeah.
Yeah, so sometimes when you drink coffee, you get the jitters, the caffeine jitters, right? So I found that taking L-theanine actually helps release a chemical in your brain that's naturally occurring called GABA. GABA helps relax the body without sedating it. So what it does actually is it helps out with removing anxiety and jitters. So
Yeah.
the benefit for a raver to take L-theanine is that it actually helps out with reducing anxiety and pre-rave jitters. And, you know, it's a lot of energy and there's a lot of stimulation going on at music festivals. And so to be able to feel relaxed and comfortable when you're there is really important. So the L-theanine's there. We got L-glutamine, which is good for muscles. It's also good for digestion. Then magnesium is really good for muscle tension as well, because I know ravers deal with a lot of muscle tension for various reasons. And then we've got acetyl L-carnitine, which has been proven by studies to be a great neuroprotectant. Right. The L-theanine's been proven to be a great neuroprotectant as well. Some of our newer ingredients that we've added as well are some neurotropics called huperzine and alpha GPC. And so what's cool about those is they give you a little boost of focus, but they don't hit on your adrenals. So what's nice about that is it helps out. It doesn't hit on your adrenal glands. So it's technically not a stimulant, but it just helps give you like a little bit more clarity. And it's also shown to be potential neuroprotectants as well. So in addition to that, it's got all your B vitamins. It's got vitamin D, vegan vitamin D, because a lot of vitamin D actually comes from lanolin, which is sheep fat. Okay. So most vitamin D is not vegan, but we actually sourced a vegan vitamin D3.
Did not know that.
Yeah. So it's just like small things like that, right? Like we want to make sure we're using the absolute best of the best. All of our organic or all of our products or ingredients are organic. Like we make sure that everything's cleanly sourced. Like we don't want to be like all the other companies out there. We want to set an example for, you know, a high quality, high frequency product that people love taking because it makes them feel great. And then it's got vitamin C as well, which is a good neuroprotectant. And it's also good for your immune system too, obviously.
Yeah, correct. Especially after even one day of raving.
Yeah. So it's just like, when I was creating the product, it's actually so much more than I initially had anticipated, you know, because if we just wanted to do like an electrolyte product, we could have just pumped that out within like a month. Right. But it was like diligent research. It's finding synergy in the ingredients. It's making sure that everything comes together well and correctly, that the flavoring is perfect, that the sweeteners are perfect for that particular flavor. You know, all these different variables and factors that go into it is super important to us, that we make sure that we do the very best that we can. And we're always looking to improve it as well. So we're always open to feedback. We want to know what the community wants, because we'll make what they want, you know what I mean? Right. And do the best that we possibly can for them, because they deserve the best.
So your version 2.0, is that going to replace your other version, or you're having two, or what's the
so the 2.0 version, so the 1.0 version will be discontinued. Okay. Gotcha. After we finish selling it. We're actually almost sold out of it. So we will be discontinuing that and be transitioning to our 2.0 version, which is, we call it Lady Lemonade. Okay. And so that's going to be our new version ongoing. And then we're working on 2 other flavors currently. So we should have 3 flavors out by the end of the year. That's the anticipation.
So let's talk logistics. Let's talk like supply and stuff like that. Like when you first started this company and stuff like that, how did you know where to reach to get these like items, these ingredients? Is it like something that you just like Googled? Like, I don't understand.
It's been a journey. Let's just put it that way. Yeah. We've had multiple manufacturers that have, you know, done a good job for us up until a certain point. And then there's like things that we wanted that were like, we just have really high standards, right? Yeah. So I think if our standards were lower, we would have stuck with like the first manufacturer. But we ended up, every time we just kept wanting to improve the product, what ended up happening is we found that we needed a different manufacturer, different ingredients, stuff like that.
Oh, but that's rough.
It's okay. Like, it's just one of those things where it's just part of business, right? You just, like, if you have an insatiable desire to create the very best of whatever it is, like if you want to make the best podcast, if you want to be the best, you know, spouse, parent, business person, like, if you have an insatiable desire to make the very best of the best, like, you won't let anything get in the way of that. Yeah. And so basically, to answer your question is, like, we just kept down the path. Like, there's certain things we'd pick up, like valuable information we'd pick up from each interaction that we had, until we got to the point where there was a day where I was coming home from a meeting with one of our manufacturers talking about, using them. And I just was like, there's gotta be a better way to do this. Like, there has to be a better way to do this. Like, And literally 20 minutes later, I go to a place. Something told me to go to, my intuition told me to go to a certain place here in Salt Lake City. And I met the guy who creates our product now. And I told him the problem I was dealing with and like where I wanted to take it. And he was like, no problem, I got this. And he's been a godsend. Like, he's been amazing. He's done an incredible job. He's made the product into what I've always wanted it to be. So yeah, to answer your question, it's just been a journey. Like, it's been a learning process. Like, the ingredients, that's one thing, is like, you could give someone the ingredient list that we have,
and they just handle all of the, I guess,
stuff,
right?
We research it. Like, I've done plenty of research with the team of finding the very best of the best ingredients. Like, we don't just order it from anywhere. Because
okay, like, so you want specific, and you're like, hey, this has to be specifically like this ingredient.
Like, I won't take a substitute. No, there's a bunch of artificial sweeteners and stuff we could have used, or like cane sugar. Like, we could have gone really cookie cutter with it, with people's help not at the forefront. But we have standards, our quality standards are as high as, you can imagine. Like, we expect everything to be perfect because the community deserves a perfect product, and if we don't feel that's perfect, we don't use it. But, we're always looking to improve it. So there might be something in the future where we're like, that makes it even better. So we're not afraid to switch an ingredient if we need to. We're not afraid to switch a sweetener if we need to. Like, we're literally trying to create the very best of the best. And sometimes new information comes in over time that you didn't know 6 months ago. So as long as we're, consistently moving towards that goal of making a perfect product, then that's how we do it. But to answer your question, like, the ingredients come from all over the place. We try to get everything. We get everything here in the United States, but different companies supply different things because not one company is going to have everything you need. Almost guaranteed, not one company is going to have every single ingredient that you need.
Yeah. And you have like a very specific like design with your like Raveraide, like the packaging and all that stuff. How did you come up with like the logos and the designs? Like, did you come up with that? Did one of your friends come up with that? Like,
yeah. So kind of going back to it, like talking about how like we picked up a valuable piece of something along the way from like everyone we had interactions with. Is they had an in-house design guy at an old manufacturer that we were using. We told him what we wanted. He actually used to be a raver himself.
Oh, hell yeah.
So he's like, I'm all over it. I got this. Like,
he knew exactly what you guys wanted.
Yeah. He's like, I'm gonna crush it for you guys. And we're like, okay. I had a mental image of what I wanted it to look like, and then he showed that to us, like what we're using. And like, me and my business partner actually, like, we cried in the office because we were like, this is literally amazing. This is so much better than we could have ever imagined. And so he designed it for us. And then we actually have a revamped version coming out with our new packaging for the 2.0 version. It's very similar, but it's just a little bit more vibrant, has a little bit more color associated to it. So it's just, I
love the color, the design, dude. It's pretty flashy. It's pretty dope. It's like flashy, yet you have like, it's all black. So it's like, it's also very simple. It's like simple with like a lot of like the right colors. It's pretty cool.
It's got a good spectrum on it for sure. And it definitely has a spiritual component to it as well, like a self-improvement component, like some sacred geometry and, all the things that we really like, as a group here. We want to share that with everyone. And I don't know, have you seen our totem that
Dude, it's so sick. Yeah, I've wanted to get my totem very similar to the one that you have and stuff, but it's like, how do you take that on the airplane? Like, how do you...
We haven't taken it on an airplane yet. We haven't needed to. Usually, like when we went to SMF, like we just shipped it. I actually had the people who made it ship it straight to my buddy's house. Because generally speaking,
that's
like,
smart, actually.
Yeah, anytime we go to a festival, like we're either driving or we have somebody who lives close that we can just ship it to. So we haven't had to fly it yet. So we'll see. I
might just start doing that, honestly.
How that goes.
I want to get a totem similar to yours. I hit up a guy who does totems just like that with the LED screen and all that stuff. I forget what the name was. But he did one of my friends' totems as well. And he was like, he gave me like the prize. And I was like, damn, that's expensive. My thing is like, if I'm going to pay for something that expensive, I don't want to like carry it on the plane, have it break. And like, that's just like a ton of liability I'm not willing to risk. And but you bring up a good point. Yeah, I could just mail it. Honestly, like there hasn't been a place. there hasn't been a
Oh,
place where
sorry.
like I don't know somebody, right? Just mail it, I guess.
Yeah, I just mail it to them. You could buy a Pelican case for it if you wanted to. Like that was the thing
Mhm.
that we've considered doing, is buying like a deep Pelican case that we can just set it inside of. But we haven't really had an issue with it so far. It's held up really well. Like we definitely take it through its paces for sure when we're at music festivals. Like our group goes pretty hard, so it's definitely standing the test of time for sure.
Where'd you get your pole at?
Same people.
So
Yeah,
really? Oh,
lit
they provided it?
totems.
Hell
Yeah,
yeah.
lit totems sent it to us. Yeah, they've been really good. They're really good people to work with. So if you're ever
Yeah.
looking to get a totem, like they're the people to get one from. So but yeah, I'm trying to think of anything else that we're working on. We're working on some other products as well that we can't really announce, but they're going to
Yeah.
be pretty. They're going to be different than the hydration sticks. So we've got some other technology that we're wanting to release to the community that we think would help. And our chief of marketing, Jake, is actually making a Rave Shaman program.
Hmm.
So I'm not sure. Have you seen our kimonos that we had made?
I haven't, no.
Yeah, so we're actually coming out with a full male kimono line and then a bunch of other festival clothing as well.
Yeah,
Just with a
you had mentioned in Utah that you were gonna like start that up and stuff. And I've been curious. I was gonna ask you, like, hey, any like word on that? Because like Singularity, it seems like forever ago, but it's like but maybe
yeah,
it wasn't, I guess.
it's like six months
Yeah, I
ago,
guess it was like
but
6 months ago.
still a good amount of time. But yeah, so we partnered with a local company that we love their clothing. So they're going to be making all our clothing for us. So we're going to be doing full clothing drops and entire get ups, and then
Hell yeah.
also where we have our kimono line coming out as well. We've got some prototypes that we've been wearing to festivals that people really seem to enjoy so far, and have been asking how they can get them. But our chief of marketing is Jake Cokerhans, and he actually created a Rave Shaman program. He's putting it together right now. So it's got 5 pillars to helping people with like beating rave come downs, better
Hmm.
mental health. So it's a program that'll come out, and then when you get the program, you get one of the limited edition kimonos with it as well.
Hell yeah.
So it's just got a bunch of really good things inside of it. But that's pretty much all we're working on at the moment. We've got some other things in the works, but we can't really talk too much about them yet until they're completed.
No, yeah, I mean, I completely get that. How was Base Candy, man? I'm sad I didn't go, but I mean, it looks like
It
you met my
was
friends there. So
Oh, dude, I love Maria. Maria is honestly like my favorite person the entire weekend that we met. Like when she FaceTimed you and like she's like, "Look," I was like, "Oh my gosh, what the fuck? Small world, like
yeah,
a tiny world." But yeah, she is amazing. Base Canyon was without a doubt my favorite festival I've ever been to personally. It's just super good vibes. Like the venue, obviously best in the world, that I've been to at least, and it's just it's just cool to see people so passionate about bass music.
yeah,
It's really something special, and we got a really warm welcoming from people. We probably had like 300-400 people over the course of the weekend either come up to us and tell us they love the totem, that
yeah.
the totem help them find their friends, or that they loved our
Great
brand.
marketing on that
Yeah,
too. So
yeah, no, it's going really well. People know who, like, it's growing for sure, and we just want to get that mission out there and help as many people as possible and make raving safer and you know more enjoyable.
that's freaking awesome, man. All right, well, dude, honestly, Ty, thank you so much, man, for taking like the time out of your day to
Oh, of
even come on the
course.
podcast. I love to hear everything about it. I'm sure there's people out there that like very interested on this whole product and everything you're working on. I mean, you've been growing, exponentially over the last year. I see pictures of you all the time. So I'll see pictures of the totem. It's been great. Where can people find you or your store, or where can people like find out about Raveraide?
Yeah, of course. So the best place like just to keep up with what we're doing is just our Instagram at Raveraide. So it's Raveraide. And then if you're looking to purchase the product, you can either click on the tap link in the bio, or you can go to www.drinkraveraide.com, or you can hop onto Amazon as well. We're doing pretty well on Amazon so far. And so you can go to any one of those places. And then my personal is at TY_LIGHT Walker. So I'm Ty _Light Walker. So if you ever have any like feedback or questions about the company or anything like that, like I'm always on my phone, always willing to answer questions and educate people on, the product, what's in it, why we do what we do, things like that, upcoming events. So that's the best way to get in touch with us. And so, yeah, I appreciate every single person who listened to this podcast. I appreciate you having me on.
Yeah, man,
And
absolutely.
if you ever see our totem or see any of our team, just be sure to come say hi to us because we love meeting new people and, meeting the people that we're actually interacting with and our company is making an impact for. So, just don't be afraid to say hi next time if you see us.
All right, and this is just for the listeners. If you're watching this podcast, make sure to give it a like, subscribe, follow. This is available on Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, YouTube, Spotify, SoundCloud. Make sure to give a follow, and I guess I'll see you guys at the next episode.